Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another Reader's Magnet featured author interview. We are currently live in all of our streaming platforms, YouTube and Facebook. My name is Kimmy, and I am your host for today. And together with me right now is one of the Reader's Magnet featured authors, here to talk more about her journey as an author and the inspiration behind the book. We have Lynda Drake, author of the book The Power of Imperfect Parents: Practical Tools to Parent Your Child. Hello, Linda. How are you
Hello,
today?
Kimmy. Great. How are you?
Oh, I'm also very happy. Feeling really great today to know you as well and as well learn something from your book. Okay, so Linda, I guess the best way to start off this interview is also to share or to introduce yourself to our audience.
All right. Well, my name is Lynda Drake, and I'm the parent of three adults now, and they all have various labels from Down syndrome, attention deficit disorder, dyslexia, mood disorder, severe behaviors, severe allergies, so a number of different things. And I've also been what's called a job developer for 22 years, which is where I work with people with all types of disabilities and those experiencing homelessness. And I helped them find work and the skills that they needed to be successful in that work. So I've learned a tremendous amount from all of those people and my kids. So that's why I'm here. I love to share what I've learned.
Wow, that's very impressive. You're doing a job that really changes people and help
Mm.
people, and I think that's amazing. That's an amazing job. Sort of more like an educator or a teacher somehow,
Mm.
and to mold them in life as well in general. Linda, can you also share with us? Can you show your book to the audience, and
Sure.
can you share with us what that book is all about?
Yes. So here is the book, The Power of Imperfect Parents. And actually, a friend of mine came up with the title, The Power of Imperfect Parents. And one of the things I hope parents get from reading this book is that perfect parent is just not possible. To
Mhm.
me, it's an oxymoron. You can't be a perfect parent. There's just too many variables, too many things going on in the life of a parent and your kids. So, learning how to embrace that imperfection and loving yourself through it all is really important and life changing. And it helps you be a better parent, which is kind of weird. When you expect yourself to be perfect, um, you put a lot of stress on yourself that you don't need to do. And you judge yourself, which isn't helpful either.
True, true. That's right. And I love it's very catchy. I really love the title, like Imperfect Parents.
Mm.
There's no such thing as perfect parents. I'm also a
Right.
parent myself, but we're really doing as imperfect as we are. We do
Yeah.
things perfectly, or trying to really be that par to our children, and I love that. The title is really catchy. Also, Linda, what would be the best, or let's say the most important lesson that you would like the readers to get out of reading your book?
Mm. To me, what's really important is that you're not alone in the struggles that you go through. You're not the only one that has dealt with whatever it is you're dealing with. One time I went to an event that was specifically for adults with Down syndrome. And
Mm.
my son with Down syndrome has extreme behaviors, like they can be so violent you have to call the police. And
Oh.
at this event, there was a young man who was having a severe behavior like my son's. And my first thought was, oh, thank God I'm not alone. And we can get in that place where we're like, oh my God, I am the only person, this horrible parent who deals with this. And that's just not the truth. That is just not the truth. Um, we do the best that we can. So that's one of the things that I think are really important to learn. And I hope people learn to reframe challenges, to look at what we go through in life and be able to look at it through the lens of what is the lesson here? What am I taking away from this? Learning how to accept what's going on in their life, really accepting ourselves, all of ourselves, being able to accept our children and their labels. This can be very hard. When my twins were about 1 years old, and my son
Mhm.
twin was born with Down syndrome, about a year after that, my oldest daughter was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder and dyslexia.
Mhm.
I just couldn't accept it. It was just too much. I already
Yeah.
had too much on my plate. I just couldn't do it. And
True.
it took a couple of years for me to say, okay, she really does have these challenges, and finally try to get her some help. That was something I hope parents can learn to accept labels earlier,
Yeah.
especially labels around mental health. My
Yeah.
son has mood disorder, which is part of the reason for his violent behaviors and some other things.
Mhm.
But being able to accept those diagnoses so you can get help as quick as you can is so important, and it can be really challenging, really can. So I hope people learn that it's okay what they're going through. They got this, they can learn from it and get some
Right.
help. Yeah, get the help that they
Mhm.
need.
Nice. I totally like when you mentioned about acceptance. That's really
Yeah.
the first part where for me it's very fundamental in terms of really understanding your children and what
Yeah.
can you do for them. I also wanted to take the line from your Amazon description because I do was able to read you mentions about you're not alone in what you go
Yeah.
through and that you can do this job called parenting. Maybe not perfectly, but you can do it with love. I really love that line, and I actually put that here on my end because I'm kind of teary right now because as a mom it's really the feeling, Linda, that you experienced before, when your children were diagnosed and you get to also experience another one experiencing as well a different kind of diagnosis. So it's like a lot on my plate, but how can I do it? Instead of like
Yeah.
asking, you mentions about why is this happening to me, instead of asking that, it's more of like how can I go through, how can I do it for them. And that gesture is really a mother's love.
Yeah.
That's a mother's love.
Yeah.
And that really inspires people. And what do you also would like to, what do you call this, when you mentions about the challenges that you had, Linda, if you could recall, can you probably share to us? I know there's a lot, but probably one of the challenges that you experienced, and how did it like help you? Or how did you overcome and make it you being stronger right now and looking really really beautiful?
One of the things that I learned the most from was Alex's behaviors. And
Mm,
um, they would come during a transition when he would like have to go to school, or he used to ask a girl to marry him and she would ignore him. That would could lead to a huge behavior. But
mm-hmm,
what I learned from those really intense moments, and we would have to restrain him, my other
mm,
daughters and I, sometimes my husband would have to restrain him. What I learned from that was that I can hold a space of love even when the person isn't acting very lovable. I can
yeah.
still see them as the love that they are. And that really was powerful for me to learn,
Mm, mm-hmm,
and that I can learn lessons from even those really challenging times,
yeah.
and I can help my daughters learn from them too. And after Alex would have a behavior, when it was over, he would sometimes say that he was a monster, and
Mm,
that's a really hard thing to hear. So being able to see him as the beautiful soul that he is, even when he sees himself as a monster, that is a very powerful place to get to. And it's a great workout of what I call your love muscle. It teaches you how to love when it's not easy, how to love unconditionally, truly.
right, true. That's right. When you mentioned about loving someone on their unlovable state,
Mm,
that's unconditional love. That's an unconditional love of a
yeah,
mother.
Yeah.
to the children. And I could just not imagine, the years that you've had with them, the challenges you've faced and all, the things that you have to surpass and overcome, considering that they're already 30s, right? Under 30s right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's 30.
Imagine
Right.
you were able to really get through them and help them
Yeah.
live a good life and all. I'm still halfway through as a parent, as a mom, but
Right.
you really inspired me, and I do hope that some other parents will also get to read your book and be
Yeah.
inspired with your story. Because what's really good is that you're putting in your book out of the experiences in your life, and that's very special. That's very special. And Linda, what do you think would be what do you call this, as a mom? What's the best thing, being a mom for you?
Mm. Wow, that's a great question. The best thing about being a mom is just that amazing connection we have with our kids, and how I am so lucky the relationship I have with my daughters and my son, because we really are going through this life and kind of learning things together and
Mhm.
growing together. And somebody who really completely understands you is, well, understands you as much as they can.
Yeah.
That is just, it's an amazing connection that we have with our kids. And it has taught me so much about myself, what really makes me tick and who I really am as a person.
All
So,
right.
yeah, being a mom's pretty amazing. And being a grandmother's even better.
Yeah. On our offline conversation, being a grandmom's really the best. Like
It is the best. It is the
when
best.
your grandchildren's like not feeling well or crying, okay, give it to the mom.
Here you go. Bye.
Bye.
I love you. See you later.
But
No,
yeah,
that's
I really
great.
love Linda, you mentioned about mom sacrifices that the mom is doing and will be doing for the children. And I
Yeah.
think you're doing like three times more in terms of the challenges. I probably am experiencing challenges on my own with my kids, but
Yeah.
considering that your kids are special, you're getting like three times more challenges. And you are looking amazing right now, and I do hope that people get to also learn things from the experiences that you had with your book. And if you could just probably share with us, I just more of like an excerpt of your book. Can you probably highlight any of the chapter or part of the book that really stands
Mm.
out for you and that you wanted people to also, can you go to chapter something like that?
Yeah, let me read just a little bit, but I also want
Sure,
to
sure.
say, you know, we all go through challenges. And don't
Mhm.
try to say somebody's challenges are greater than yours, because we all have these challenges that help create who we are.
Right.
So it's okay to say, you know what, I have challenges too. We all have challenges, and I'm learning from them and helping each other walk through them in empowering ways, I think is really important. One of the things that I want to share, at the last chapter of the book, I interview people with adults with disabilities who thought are successful in my eyes. They're
Wow.
successful.
Mhm.
And I asked them what their parents did, that they're glad they did. And one of the women I interviewed, her name is Anna, and she has albinism. When you
Mm.
have albinism, you're legally blind. Everything you see is blurry.
Oh, okay.
And she chose to embrace her albinism and to embrace everything about her, even her blindness. So she walks with a cane, which not all people who have that issue do. And she also went to Gallaudet University, which is a university actually for people who are deaf. And she
Mm.
went there, and in the classroom, the interpreter would interpret into her hands what was going on in the room. Okay.
Ooh.
So instead of what was being said, it was what was happening in the room.
All right.
And she learned from that. That is when she said she felt the least disabled she'd ever felt. This is what she said. This experience of them interpreting that allowed her to get the full experience of the class and everyone in it. She revealed to me in that moment she felt the least disabled she had ever felt. It was in her allowing herself to acknowledge all the things her body couldn't do and accept the help to do it that she felt the least disabled. This was
Mm,
so eye-opening for me as a parent, because as a parent, a lot of times we try to squish our beautiful disabled child, this beautiful square peg, into the round hole that society has told us this is where your child needs to fit. And instead
yeah,
of doing that, maybe what we should be doing is truly helping our kids embrace all of who they are, all of their challenges, and let them know they bring something powerful and wonderful to this world. They don't have to fit into that square peg. That's one of
true.
the round peg. That's one of the most important things I learned from the book.
I love it when you mentioned about embracing, like embracing
Mm,
them as they are instead of like
yeah.
putting them on somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's an eye opener for people, especially for, I
Yeah.
think there are parents right now who has special children, and some of them might not be able to accept that, or like putting their children some set aside somewhere. It's time to embrace, and they're special and they have to be probably taught in different ways, but you love them because they're the children, you're their children, right?
Yeah.
And also, thank you so much, Linda. You know what? I really love talking with you with all these experiences and all. I learned a lot, actually, to tell you honestly. And just before we end the interview, I would also like to ask, what advice would you like to give to young writers or writers who would like to start, or on the middle of doing their book, or probably thinking, okay, I wanted to write the book. What would be the best advice that you would like to give?
To work on right here. The best advice I would give new writers is to know you are worthy to share your story. You are worthy to be heard. And Reader's Magnet has not only helped my voice be heard, but they have also helped me see that I'm worthy of being heard. That gift is priceless. So I'm very grateful for Reader's Magnet for that. So you
Thank
not
you.
only help us share the story, you help us know that we're worthy of sharing it. We're worthy of doing that.
That's right. Thank you, Linda. We are also grateful to have you here in our team, and really appreciate your time, your genuinity in terms of sharing your life and yourself to us, your time as well, and the effort really amazes us. And we look forward to, work with you as well as the months and the years would come. All right. So
Thank
yes,
you.
everybody, that's Linda Drake. Linda, can you also show your book with us, and you can
One
please
more time.
invite everyone?
Oh, and my name is spelled with a Y. My website is lindadrake.com.
All right, lindadrake.com. By the way, I'm also going to read a few messages here from JP.
Okay.
Powerful thought from Linda. Thank you for sharing your story with
Mm,
us. Such a good and
thanks,
loving
JP.
mother. Topic is highly
Mm,
significant to all those parents in the same situation, right?
mm,
Learning to accept the condition as early as possible is important.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. That's what Linda
Yes, it
shares with
is.
us.
Yeah.
Everyone who's watching right now, acceptance, it's really important as early as possible, because aside from you guys, what do you call this, on your end, it's also for your kids, right? For their kids' sake,
Yes.
that you get to understand them, and you get to also probably bring them to someone, seek for a professional help that who can actually be your partner with you. And there's a lot of things that you guys can learn from Linda's book. And so I would like really and recommend everyone to get a copy. And it's not just simply reading something just for fun or entertainment, it's real life. So you get to learn and understand. Probably you're a parent right now, or probably have someone who has special children, just like Linda has. So thank you so much, Linda. And right now, I think all the questions are also answered as well. So everyone, you may grab a copy of Linda's book that's in Amazon and Barnes and Noble, and on her website as well.
And it's
Again,
also an audiobook.
yeah, an audiobook as
Yeah.
well. All right, if
Yeah.
you guys wanted to hear as well. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for your time, Linda. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone
Kimmy.
who's watching right now. And as we say here at Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you. Bye.
That was great.